Oh my God. Rank and file union members snub Biden for Trump. In unions, especially building trade support for president remains solid despite the efforts of labor leaders to convince members otherwise. Okay, this is... Okay, give me numbers. Where union voters have a sizable impact, roughly 1 in 6 voters nationwide is either a union member or comes from a union household. God, America is so stupid. I guess police unions are a part of this number, maybe. If that's the case, then that makes sense. Among members of the North America's building trades unions, there is a dead heat in swing states, with Biden receiving 48% of the vote and Trump 47%. You're a household name at this point. It says big fan of your content. Thank you. I don't think so, but thank you. I work at a heavy equipment dealer with a unionized shop, and I can guarantee 85% voted for Trump. I mean, I've talked about this before. I'm in the carpenters union, and I'm the only person I know at work who voted for Biden. I fucking love that, dude. I fucking love that. Hell yeah, baby. Oh, God, we are the dumbest fucking country on the planet, dude. Oh, man. I don't even fault them, to be fair. I have talked about this before. So I think the exit polls show a different reality. A household with a union member, 57% voted for Joe Biden. A household without a union member, 51% voted for Joe Biden. So 57% of households with a union member voted for Joseph Robinette Biden over Donald Trump. Now, of course, that means like not just the rank and file, but also the son or daughter or the wife of a union member or the husband of a union member. So like blue collar doesn't vote for Biden. That's not true. Stop. This narrative is so stupid. One, the American labor force is only 10% unionized, okay? 10% union participation in the overall American labor force. That's number one. Number two, if you look at the actual income, if you actually look at how this works, okay, on the income front, you're wrong. The notion that the notion that like wealthy people vote for the Democrats and like working class people vote for the Republicans is the wrong one. It's a false notion, okay? That's not the case. Poor people still vote in the direction of the Democratic Party. Rich people still vote in the direction of the Republican Party. Okay? The fantasy that Republicans have created so successfully, okay? The fantasy that Republicans have created so successfully is this like ridiculous notion that the Republican Party is actually pro-labor, they do this like populist bullshit, and they act like they are actually in support, or they get a lot of union support or labor support from the working class. It's bullshit. That's not real. Not real. Just like the working class is not just fucking white working class people. Okay? That's just so stupid. It's dumb. The working class is very diverse because America is very diverse, okay? There's trans people in the working class. There's black people in the working class. There's women in the working class. There's gay people in the working class. It's so fucking dumb to fantasize about this mythological white guy who's working a fucking rugged-ass job, okay, in the construction yards or whatever. It's so dumb. It's made up. It's a made-up fantasy cooked up by Yale debate society perverts that literally fucking have never had any real proximity. They would spit on the construction workers if they could, okay? Like, it's literally dumbass fucking Yale graduate perverts that make up this fantasy, and every other dumbass fucking believes it. What is oh God, I know this video. This video is so fucking insane, okay? Yeah. Look at any road crew in California, mostly Latino. That, yes. Also, look at the fucking UAW picket lines, and you'll realize the black labor force has a higher union participation than the white labor force in this country. Shut the fuck up about the working class being not diverse. Okay? Just remember that. Whenever, like, Because, like, there used to be this old antiquated talking point about how, like, labor unions are racist. And, yeah, there was a certain point in time when they were. Except now, the black union, the union participation amongst the black labor force is higher, okay, than union participation in the white labor force. Explain this. That's just me LARPing as a worker. Yeah, if you want to see a place where there's not enough diversity, look to fucking C-suite, okay? The boards and the executives, infinitely less diverse than the actual fucking labor force. Anyway. Oh. Me when I get my first $400 vintage Carhartt jacket? Yeah.
President Sean Fain has withheld his endorsement of President Biden. But this is what he had to say about you. Quote, another Donald Trump presidency would be a disaster. How would you win that endorsement?
Well, if that's the case, I probably won't win his. I don't know the gentleman, but I know his name very well. And I think he's not doing a good job in representing his union because he's not going to have a union in 3 years from now. Those jobs are all going to be gone because all of those electric.
See, that's literally fucking, it's over. It's Jover. Okay? Yeah. Go ahead. Play this line in any fucking Michigan shop, dude. Get the fuck out of here, okay? Leftist like Shabby Shab said labor unions are racist. Oh, you mean Ben Shapiro. Woo! I didn't even see this part.
Cars are going to be made in China. That's what's happening. Number one. Number two, the electric cars are much more expensive. And they don't go far enough. So if somebody wants to take a little bit of a long, just like the trucks, if somebody wants to take a little bit of a long ride, let's go to Maine or let's go to Kentucky from New York. You can't do it. I mean, you have to stop all the time. They don't go far enough. They're very expensive. They have a lot of drawbacks. Now, with that being said, some people are going to want them. Some people are going to travel.
No, I think they mean RBN, Sabby Sabs. I have no idea who the fuck
short
that
distances. What they're doing with our trucking industry is a disaster because they want all electric trucks. And a truck on with a large tank, large gasoline or diesel capacity can go up to 2,000 miles. An electric truck goes 300 miles. So what are these guys going to do? They're going to stop every 300 miles and recharge their truck and spend 3 hours?
Let's move on and talk about another big picture issue when it comes to the economy. The issue of interest rates, inflation, something that you've talked a lot about.
Yeah.
The Federal Reserve is obviously independent. But I wonder, Mr. President, if you are re-elected, would you direct your Federal Reserve chair to lower interest rates?
Well, you know that I put a lot of pressure on him. It was outside pressure because nobody knows whether or not you can really do that. But I did because I thought his interest rates were too high, and he ultimately dropped his interest rates. The same gentleman, as you know. But it was a lot of pressure. I mean, I was very active on that. Right now, interest rates are very high. They're too high. People can't buy homes. They can't do anything. I mean, they can't borrow money. The banks don't have the money. The banks aren't lending the money. The banks, by the way, Chase Manhattan Bank, Bank of America, they discriminate against conservatives. It's a disgrace, and they
the real banking discrimination is happening against conservatives, okay? Yeah. Not black people, not the Latin population.
Shouldn't be allowed to, and I'm going to do something about that. But you take a look at banks throughout the country, and I think because of the regulators.
One thing that I love, that I wish the Democrats would do more of, is like, just say you're going to do government intervention. Like, this is something that you have to recognize with Donald Trump. He says he is going to do government intervention. Yeah, too, Mom. İki bir tane de küçük at peki. Trump openly fucking says all the time that he is just going to do government intervention. Now, is he going to actually do it? Fuck no. Of course he's not going to do it. Ron DeSantis, on the other hand, is too stupid to realize that you're not supposed to use government intervention to actually, hurt the bottom line of corporations, because America is supposed to be pro corporations. But like, He does such a good job of just saying he's going to do it. Like, it's great. It's great. Like, yeah, I'm going to go after banks. I'm going to regulate banks. Oh, so sick. It's so sick. I'm going to go after the banks because they're discriminating against conservatives, okay? It's awesome. Why doesn't Brandon do it? I wish Brandon would do it. I wish Brandon would actually do it, for the record. I wish he would actually regulate.
But you take a look at Bank of America and Chase, they discriminate against conservatives
What's
and
the
Republicans.
evidence for that, Mr. President?
Oh, we'll give you plenty of evidence.
Okay, all right. Well, let's stay on track with this question.
He said, we'll give you plenty of evidence to that. That means, in Trump terms, that means no evidence, okay?
So just to be very clear, if you were reelected, would you direct your Fed chair to lower interest rates?
It depends. It depends.
You
Depends
might.
where inflation is. But I would get inflation down because drill we must. We will be drilling for oil. We are going to become, again, energy independent. We are going to reduce our debt because we're also going to become energy dominant. You know, we were ready to go dominant within a matter of months. We would have been making so much money. We have more oil, I call it liquid gold, under our feet than any other country, Saudi Arabia, Russia. And there's no country with more, and it's sweet. It's the finest. We have the best. You know, we're taking it from Venezuela. You know what it is? Tar. It's the worst.
Mr. President, are you going to appoint a new Fed chair if you're reelected?
Well,
Actual truth about oil. I mean, the best is Saudi liquid gold. Like, I don't think America's like crude oil is as good as Saudi Arabia. That's like kind of the reason why we love Saudi Arabia, don't we, folks? He did say it's sweet. You think he tasted the oil? No, he did not.
I guess he would have 2 years left or something like that. So we'll see. But,
Okay. All right.
you know the word jaw.
Yeah, Saudi oil is easy to get. American oil, not as easy.
Boning. I did a lot of jawboning against him, and he ultimately lowered interest rates. We had
What the fuck is he saying?
low
What?
or something like.
Appoint a new Fed chair if you're reelected?
Well, I guess he would have 2 years left or something like that. So we'll see. But,
Okay. All right.
you know the word jawboning. I did a lot of jawboning against him, and he ultimately lowered interest rates. We had low interest rates. We had the best housing market ever. We had people buying homes. Today, people can't buy homes.
Economists are looking at some of the figures right now. The fact that the unemployment rate is at 3.8%.
And he's a net exporter of oil, but they're also cutting production to prop up prices in cooperation with OPEC Plus. Yet more price fixing is caused by the de facto oligopoly. I mean, Brandon couldn't even get them to fucking increase oil output, like oil production, during the OPEC situation as a way to counter against like OPEC, the cartel.
And they say it looks like the U.S. may not dip into a recession. What do you make of that assessment?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, people are going to, they say that, and then you end up in a depression. They say you're going to do great, you end up bad, you say, and the opposite. Most of them don't know what they're doing. It's a touch, it's a feel. And I predicted a lot of markets. I predicted a lot of things, frankly. You know, they say Trump was right about everything. I think that the way it's going now, you're going to have to, things are not going right now very well for the consumer. Bacon is up 5 times. Food is up horribly, worse than energy. Energy is starting to go up at a level that we haven't seen in a long time, meaning a couple of years since he took over, because I had energy prices very low. I had gasoline very low.
He's got the epic bacon vote.
Get the energy
Soy.
down, which they will never do. And they kept it artificial because they took the strategic reserves, which I had a lot to do with filling up for the first time ever. They took these strategic reserves and he issued it to everybody so that he could keep the gas prices down. Now, strategic reserves are at the lowest level they've ever been at, and we need that for war.
And there are a lot of factors that have contributed to that.
Well, no, the big factor is the fact that he took that oil.
Let's talk about taxes.
He took that and he wanted to have low gas prices for an election. And now we have nothing left.
Mr. President, there are a lot of factors, including global factors, that went into that. Let's talk about taxes, though.
I don't know why people stick up for him so much when he makes bad decisions like you. I don't know why, and I have a lot of respect for you, and you were very fair in the debate, but I don't know why you and other people say, oh, it's okay that he destroyed the strategic petroleum reserves. I mean, why do you do that? Or it's okay that he has open borders. Somebody was in your position, not quite as good, said this morning, oh, having open borders is a wonderful thing. I don't know why, and I think that's why the media has lost so much credibility. Mr. President,
we're just having a conversation. Let me talk to you about taxes and your differences with President Biden over taxes.
Sure.
He wants to raise corporate tax rates to 28%. It's reported you want to lower them to 15%. Is that true?
I'd like to lower them a little bit if we could, but what I want to do is we have to get some income coming in. You know, when I lowered taxes, we took in more revenue.
To 15%, Mr.
You know
President?
that when it depends on where we are at the time. You know, a lot happens in a year. But when I lower...
Did you just say we want lower taxes? I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Anne bana bir tane daha harissa verir misin? Bu bitmiş. That's all. Yeah, what are we doing here, man? Even lower taxes? Fuck it. Let's see how low we can go all the way to the floor. I think a just and equitable society would have zero corporate tax. Yeah. Zero. Corporations are not people. Unless they are voting with their dollars, in which case they are people and their dollars are speech. But corporations are not people when they're, paying taxes. So they should pay 0%. Negative taxes? I mean, that already exists. We already have negative taxes. It's called subsidies, dog.
Lower taxes. I cut taxes tremendously, created tremendous jobs. But more importantly, we had more revenue with lower taxes than we did with higher taxes.
You also added $8 trillion to the national debt. Your GOP challenger, Nikki Haley, made that point, saying, quote, the truth is that Biden didn't do this to us. Republicans did this to us. Does she have a point?
We had a thing happen to us. We had the greatest economy in history, and then we got hit with COVID. And we had to keep this beautiful thing going. And if I didn't do that, if we didn't put some money in, nobody knew what COVID was.
Yeah, that's not where that's coming from, dog. Talking about the tax cuts that you were just flaunting. The other side of it is not the problem here.
Because remember, this was a new thing that came in. Somebody said it's dust coming in from China. It came from China. They tried and denied it, or they tried for a little while, and we didn't let it. It came from Wuhan, actually, which now they agree. Everybody's now agreeing that it came from Wuhan. I said that years ago. But we had to do things that were very severe. We had to let some money come out. We were on the verge of doing.
Bro, who didn't think it was coming from Wuhan? Like, what? It's like, what the fuck is he saying? I guess he means like lab leak. Or that it was a bioweapon or whatever, you know what I mean? Which, at the time, was what his State Department was saying. And that never changed. The only thing that changed is the shitty ass fucking liberal media, and even the not so liberal side of media, like independent media, ran with that narrative that it's like probably a lab leak and not zoonotic spread, which there is no scientific consensus on. It's just a theory, just like zoonotic thread was a theory, and it's the more commonly shared theory. Just want to point that out for all the fucking lab leak enjoyers in the chat. Well, because I'm a China shill and a simp, I must be protecting them. You know what I mean? Classic Hasan. Being a China simp again.
something that was amazing. We were going to have energy at a level bigger than Russia and Saudi Arabia combined. That energy was going to be sold to Europe and all other places. The prices would have come down. We were going to make a fortune, and we were going to start paying off debt. Instead, we got hit with COVID. People didn't need oil because nobody was driving all over the world. I mean, frankly, it was a disaster. What China did to the world with COVID is something that we're going to get to the bottom of, and they have to pay something back. You know, nobody can pay back the cost of all those lives and all the money that was lost, but nobody can pay back the lives and all of the damage that was caused,
but
including China. But you know what? They have to pay something back.
To Nikki Haley's key argument, though. What do you say to her?
What does Nikki Haley know? I mean, I know Nikki Haley very well. She said, I'm the greatest president. She left, she said, I'm the greatest president. Now she's running for office and she says something. Look, Nikki Haley doesn't know anything about it. She's a politician. She knows nothing about it. Very nice woman. Some people like that, I would say. But she left office. She said very strongly, I will never.
What does Nikki Haley know?
He was a great president. And then in some cases said the greatest president of my lifetime. In one case said the greatest president ever. Now she's running. Nikki Haley has nothing to do with this. We were going to make a fortune off our energy. We were going to send the energy to Europe. Europe was going to pay us tremendous amounts of money. And I'll tell you, you would have never had the Ukraine monster at all. It would have never happened. Russia would have never got, just by sheer force of personality. But beyond personality, what happened is when oil hit $100 a barrel, and by the way, it's right there right now again, Putin makes a fortune on this war. You know, everybody said, oh, he can't afford it. If Biden allowed my policies to stay in place, oil would right now be at $40 a barrel, and Putin wouldn't be able to afford the war.
We are going to get to the war in Ukraine. But first, I do want to talk about the issue of abortion, which is important to a lot of voters all across the country. Just this week, women in Idaho and Tennessee, I don't know if you saw this, filed suit against their state saying their lives were put at risk after they were denied abortion services because their state's restrictive laws put in place after Roe was overturned. So my question for you, Mr. President, is how is it acceptable in America that women's lives are at risk, doctors are being forced to turn away patients in need, or risk breaking the law?
I have a long answer. I hope you have time.
I hope you have time. Okay. I'm here for as long as you have.
So you have Roe v. Wade. For 52 years, people, including Democrats, wanted it to go back to states so that states could make the right. Roe v. Wade,
I'm going to die. Democrats wanted to overturn Roe v. Wade to allow states to make decisions on abortion is the best. Oh, I love that. God, that's such a stupid argument. It's such a big bind for Donald Trump. Like, there's nothing he can do in this situation.
Did something that nobody thought was possible, and Roe v. Wade was terminated, was put back to the states. Now, people, pro-lifers, have the right to negotiate for the first time. They had no rights at all. Because the radical people on this are really the people, the Democrats, that say after 5 months, 6 months...
Wait, I don't get it. So are you saying you made it easy? Wait, even that doesn't make sense. Because now he's saying he gave Democrats the power to fucking make abortion... like totally permissible at 9 months and change. He's like, you know, Democrats wanted abortion at 10 months, folks. They wanted abortion after birth. I gave it to them. That's what they wanted. Believe me.
7 months, 8 months, 9 months, and even after birth, you're allowed to terminate the baby.
Democrats aren't saying that. I just have to. Democrats are not saying that.
Of course
That's
they do.
Not true.
You have a Virginia governor, previous governor, who said after the baby is born, you will make a determination, and if you want, you will kill that baby. The baby is now born.
Democrats writ large are not talking about that. Only 1% of late-term abortions happen in always in this state of
They are
crisis.
the radical people because nobody wants to see abortion after 5 months and 6 months and 7 months. And now it's going to, it gave people that believe.
No, that's poor showing. That's poor showmanship from MSNBC. And normally I would say their incompetence is by design, but this is not an issue that they need to be incompetent on because it's a deeply unpopular one. No, you have to be better. You have to be better at countering this. No, sorry. You have to demonstrate competence in this situation. There is no material reason for you not to. Normally, I would say, they're deliberately, by design, not offering pushback. She's just doing a bad fucking job here. And I think the counter in this situation is, I know people in the chat are saying, oh, I'm surprised she even delivered any pushback at all. I know. Okay, I know that we have low expectations. I get it. But this is one area where, no, especially as a woman too, you literally could have easily been like, what are you talking about? What you're saying is incorrect. It's simply incorrect, okay? The governor you're pointing to is not like, that's not a real quote from the governor. Infanticide, like murdering a child is what you're describing. It's illegal in every state of the United States of America. Okay? You have to be very clear. She was like, oh, that's only 1%. And it only happens, where, there's like issues, health complications. It's like, no, be clear. That quote is not real. It's not a real quote. You're just lying. You're lying right now. You Weasley little liar. Only some Democrats want to kill babies. Exactly. That's like a fucking stupid counter.
And pro-life, look, just so you understand, it's pretty much 50-50. It's a 50-50 issue. Amazing. If you look at the charts, it's been 49-51. It's been like that for many years. Goes both ways.
No, it's not!
51, both ways. Ready? I was able to do something which gave at least pro-life people a voice. Now it's going to work out. Now the number of months.
No, it's not! Fuck! It's not! That's why you can't even fucking stand on top of a fucking mountaintop and be like, I did this. Because if it was 50-50 and you know how to read the fucking room, you would not be pussyfooting around it. Like, oh, I just gave people the right to choose. That's what I did. I'm pro-choice. Fuck you. You know this shit's unpopular. You fucking know it. That's why you're trying to triangulate around it. Because on the one hand, you want to fucking claim ownership over this thing. But you, just like everybody else that, follows this shit, recognizes the pain that it fucking caused for a tiny, minuscule percentage of the Republican voter base. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. I hate that she's not saying that, though. 50-50 my ass. Suck my fucking cock. Are you out of your fucking mind? 50-50 what? This issue has never been 50-50. It's not even 50-50 in red states, okay? Republicans get abortions too. If it was 50-50, Trump would be fucking literally taking his dick out and waving it, okay? And he wouldn't even... I hate the media so much. I hate the media more than I hate Donald Trump in this regard because they are the fucking demon, pedophile, vampire, interdimensional pieces of shit that have continued this it's a contentious debate narrative when there's no contention. None whatsoever. Fuck you. It's so fucking annoying. You watch NPR, you watch the New York Times, they're always like, we asked the Family Crisis Pregnancy Kidnapping Center of Mormons what they think. Here is a guy who makes $250,000 representing the pro-pedophilia only for Catholicism Institute. And it's like, why? Why are you asking him this? His job is to go on NPR and act like this is a divisive issue when it's not a fucking divisive issue. Fuck you. Suck my fucking cock. There is not a single fucking place in the United States of America where being anti-abortion is a popular fucking idea. It's not the case. They're fucking lying. Jesus Christ, dude. It's like the most deliberate form of propaganda, the endless need to make it seem like this is a divisive issue when it's not a divisive issue.
Can you
and you're going to have
this
something where
question?
everybody comes together.
Does it bother?
No, hold him to account. He said 50-50. Ask him why, if it's 50-50, that he's like tiptoeing around his major accomplishment. Fucking hell, dude. Hey, fuck
though,
this.
that women say their lives are being put at risk. Do you feel you bear any responsibility? Because as you say, you are responsible.
What's going to happen, this is an issue that's been going on for a long time, and it's a very polarizing issue. Because of what's been done and because of the fact we brought it back to the states, we're going to have people come together on this issue. They're going to determine the time because nobody wants to see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. Nobody wants to see abortions when you have a baby in the womb. I said with Hillary Clinton when we had the debate, I made a statement.
Yeah.
Rip the baby.
Exactly. Exactly. Nobody wants to see abortions is the real fucking take, okay? If abortion is murder, murder is murder. There is no like, oh, well, it's murder only after 5 months or whatever. Fuck you. 90% of abortions happen at the first trimester, okay? They happen at the first trimester in every fucking state. It happens at the first goddamn trimester. Suck my fucking cock. You made it literally illegal. You allowed states to decriminalize abortion. And by the way, not only did states you allowed states to criminalize abortion, sorry. Not only did they do that, but also in states where it was put on the ballot, like in fucking Kentucky, okay, the people overwhelmingly voted in support of abortion access. And yet, Daniel Cameron, Mitch McConnell's very own attorney general, still chose to prosecute abortions as though it's criminal. It's fucking insane. It happened in Kansas. It happened in Kentucky. It happened all around the fucking country. Because Americans are pro allowing people the right to choose, okay? It's bullshit, dude. No, it's fucking bullshit.
Be out of the womb in the 9th month. You're allowed to do that, and you shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Again, no one is
again,
arguing
listen,
for that. That's
look,
not a part of anyone's platform, Mr.
The
President.
Democrats are able to kill the baby after birth.
Let me talk to you.
Nobody wants that.
Democrats don't want that
So
either.
we're going to come together.
I want to know what you...
I want to do a post-mortem version on someone that is, Anyway, I'm not going to say anything further. Okay, I'm back in it. Now I can't even fucking laugh at Donald Trump. I'm so pissed off. I hate this shit so much. This is like, oh, it's so frustrating. Just fucking say he's lying, okay? Say he's lying. Meet the press, okay? Meet it. Meet the press. It's not meet the president's dick in your fucking mouth, okay? It's meet the press. Be the press. Do the press thing, okay? Press him. It's so fucking frustrating, dude. What are you doing? I hate it. This is so unimaginably nutty because it's such a black and white issue in a sea of contradictions where there is never something so clear cut. Okay? Americans are fucking stupid. We can't agree on anything. This is the one issue that we fucking agree on. Fuck.
You want. I want to know what you're going to do if you're
We are going to come
Would you sign
together.
federal legislation that would ban abortion at 15 weeks?
No, let me just tell you what I do. I'm going to come together with all groups, and we're going to have something that's acceptable. Right now, to my way of thinking, the Democrats are the radicals. Because after 4 and 5 and 6 months, but you have to say this, after birth. You have New York State and other places that pass legislation where you're allowed to kill the baby after birth.
Mr. President, I want to give voters who are going to be weighing in on this election a very clear sense of where you stand on this.
I think they're all going to like me. I think both sides are going to like me.
What's
going to have to happen is you're going to have to...
By the way, this is him literally trying to argue like he did last time. This is how he won last time. So it's like classic. He's doing the same thing. This is MAGA 2.0. Okay? It's over. You were the president. Your decisions and your actions and your appointments created the new environment that we're in. And he's still like, oh no, Democrats want to kill the baby. They want to kill the baby. They want to kill the baby. It's like, dog, we moved beyond that. We're doing ectopic pregnancies or killing the fucking carrier. Okay? That's where we're at. Oh man. He needs new talking points. He can't. He can do nothing on this. You want to know something really sad for the Republican Party?